Hello and welcome to Jump In Let's Play. Today we are taking a look at Star Wars Villainous, a brand new release available now in the shop. So we'll head downstairs and take a look and see what the game is all about, and then we'll come back up to discuss our final thoughts. See you in a moment. So here we are, set up and ready to go for Star Wars Villainous. We set up for 2 players with Adventurous as our opponent for this tutorial. So the setup first. We'll go through the setup for what you'd expect for each player, and then the shared resources. Each player has their own sector. This sector is going to give them a rundown of a variety of different things. We've got our character here, where we're just going to place our token for now, as well as an overview of our objective. We then have these 4 sectors here, these 4 locations rather. Each location has 4 actions, as well as 2 spaces for our allies along the bottom and the heroes that our opponents may play against us along the top. It's important to note that the 2 actions along the top, if a hero covers them, they are locked out for us until we vanquish the hero. We then have a 5th location here that starts off empty, but this will be occupied by hero and ally ships, and we'll explain those in just a moment. Each player is given a reference card if you so wish. This will give you an idea of what each of the available actions for you are each turn, as well as on the back a little brief on each of the villain objectives, so you can have a handy guide as to what your opponent or opponents are trying to do. You then have a more in-depth villain guide for your chosen character. This here is going to give you a better idea, more in depth of what you need to do, as well as maybe some different ways of achieving that, and any special rules that are specific to your character. Finally, each character has 2 decks. We've got our deck that we play cards from. We have our fate deck that our opponents play cards from. At the start of the turn, we draw 4 cards, as we have here from our deck. And then over the course of the game, we're going to have the chance to draw more cards, and our opponents are going to have a chance to draw cards and play cards against us from the Fate deck. So each of these locations, as I said, has their 4 different actions that are available. So we have got, as you can see here, we have got collect credits that will allow you to just simply correct the number of credits that were on that location. Discard cards, so if you decide that you don't want cards, you can just discard to get rid of them. Play a card, you just pay the card's cost in credits to play that card. Maneuver will allow you to move your allies from one location to another. Fate is going to allow you to draw 2 cards from your opponent's Fate deck. You'll take a look at those, you'll pick one to play, the other one gets discarded. Vanquish, this is what you're going to use if and when heroes appear along the top. You'll pick one or more of your allies in order to defeat one hero at that location. And then we have got ambition. And ambition is an alternative currency to credits. This represents things like political intrigue, the power of the dark side, charisma, things like that. Things that money can't buy, and allow you to perform those actions. We also have this one here, activate, which doesn't appear on any of these, but activate will allow you to use any abilities on any one of your allies that may have that ability to do so. So in the middle, fairly straightforward, we have this pot here that has a variety of different tokens. So we have got +1, -1 tokens here. These will come out as and when cards dictate. We have got our credits here, and we have our ambition. So whoever starts first doesn't start with a credit, and then other players will start with an amount of credits according to the player count. And then at the start of each turn, you will draw yourself an ambition. So there will always be ambition for you to use over the course of the game. Finally, we'll just explain this one just because it takes a little bit more. So this is where you're going to play your ally ships. Your ally ships are going to provide you with a 5th location that will give you an ability and will give you 3 different actions that you can perform. As long as it is not engaged, you can perform these actions anytime you choose to visit that deep space location. However, in our fate deck, there are ships that can engage our ships, also having effects of their own. When they engage, they act like these, where the fate card is going to cover up the available actions. Whilst they're engaged, as said, we can't perform those actions. However, if there's ever a unengaged hero ship at this location, it will limit our hand size, so we go from 4 cards down to 3 cards. We can get rid of these ships by simply using a vanquish action if we have a ship here as well that is engaged with it. Alternatively, if there is an ally ship and a hero ship here and they're engaged, you can unengage them and take your ally ship out of the engagement, and allows you to then use the actions on there, but that comes at the cost of the hero ship being unengaged and impeding your hand size by 1. So, let's have a few turns of the game to give you an idea of exactly how it is played. So, we'll start with gaining our ambition. So, we've got our 1 ambition here, and then that will be useful as and when we have cards with ambition. So these cards here, each of them have their own costs. Here, all of our cards are using credits. So before we get to play anything, we're going to need to get credits. Some cards, as you'll see as they come out here, are going to have ambition, and that will appear in this corner here. So first of all, let's go here. So we're going to draw 2 credits from the shared pool. So there's our 2 credits. And then we've got a few other actions. We can play an ambition, a card with ambition, which we can't do. We can vanquish. There's nothing to vanquish. We can play a card. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to pay 1. And we are going to play our Stormtroopers. Let's play these at Tython for now. These can be moved around if we so wish later on in the game. So that is everything done for that. So we are going to draw a card. So we got more Beskar. And then we pass the turn. So our opponent's turn, they decide whatever they want to do. So maybe she's going to Dathomir. She's got a variety of different actions there. One of those being Fate. So what she will do is she will reveal the top 2 cards from our deck here. And then she will pick one of these to play to the top of one of these locations. And the other one will be discarded. So we'll just give you a closer look here at these 2. So we've got 2 heroes. So we've got Fennec Shand with a power of 3. When performing a vanquish action to defeat her, at least 2 allies must be used. And the Mandalorian here, 4 strength, he gets +2 if Grogu is at his location. And Grogu may be on either the hero or villain side, so it doesn't matter which side Grogu is on. So for now, they're going to choose the Mandalorian. They're going to put them there. The unused fate card simply goes off to one side in a discard pile. And if it runs out, the decks, when you need to draw either of them, you just shuffle the discard pile back, create a new deck and draw. So it is our turn now. So we get our ambition and we get to choose a new location. You always have to move to a new location as well. So we're going to go here. So we're going to draw 2 more and we're going to play this one. So we're going to play this on here. And then this is going to allow us to either play a card for free if we remove Beskar, or pay 4 ambition to find and play Grogu to the hero side of your sector. So we've got a couple of options there. So that is that done for now. And then I think we're just going to use the discard actions. Discard these 2 for now, because we can get them back later. And then we end our turn, we draw 1, 2, 3 cards here. So we've already mentioned the allies, that they go to your locations, and we've got the items that are attached to them. So we'll just go over a couple of the other ones here. So we've just drawn an effect. The effect is a one-off cost and a one-off effect. You perform that and it goes. And then experimentation is a condition. So these ones will happen anytime your opponent does something on their turn that triggers this card. So very useful to be able to do actions in your opponent's turn. So those are what we've got, and of course we've got our Darksaber here for the moment. There we go. So our opponent's turn, they will then decide where they would like to go. So they take their ambition at the start of their turn and decide where they want to go. They'll go here and they'll perform each of their actions. They've got collect credits, they've got discard, they've got vanquish, and they've got play ambition cards. So they would do whatever actions they wanted to do, and it comes back to us. So where are we going to go? We're going to go here. And we've got a few different things. So we get our ambition for the start of the turn. And then we can take our 2 credits. And we can decide to play a card. So we can't use these 2 with the play card ability, but we can use this one here. So what we will do is we will pay that 1. And we'll put the client on here. This gains this a new location. So a new action rather. So we now have 2 actions here for play and ambition, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to start with our Darksaber. So we pay an ambition and we attach it to this one here. And then we get to play this one as well. So let's play that. And then we'll play this. So this is said just an effect, so it just happens the once and goes to the discard. So let's reveal. So we reveal cards until we reveal a hero and then play that hero to any location. Okay, so we've got Bo-Katan. So whenever Bo-Katan is in play, and then Darksaber is in play, Moff Gideon loses 2 ambition. So we lose our 2 ambition. And we're going to play that here, for example. And then this gets discarded. So we've got 1 card left. Nothing we can do with this one because it activates on our opponent's turn. So we will simply end our turn and draw 1, 2, 3 cards. So now our opponent takes their action. They move here, for example. This is going to allow them to play fate cards. So they are going to reveal those 2 fate cards. So they're going to pick that one anyway because they're both the same. So these guys get +1. So now they're even harder for us to defeat. And then they perform the rest of their actions, decide how they want to do them. They might decide, for example, that they're going to discard. So, for example, they've got the discard action just here. So they say they're going to discard. So we get to play this immediately. So we look at the effect. If they use a discard action, we may play Long Live the Empire, reshuffle your discard pile into your villain deck and gain 1 ambition. So we've only got a few cards there, but we get to reshuffle those. So we give that a quick shuffle round and we gain that 1 ambition. Obviously on our turn we have 3 cards now to play with rather than 4. So we get to our turn, we draw that ambition there. So let's go here. Yeah, we will go there. So we're going to get our 2 credits. We can maneuver a hero. We can play a card. And we've got the ambition. But what we're going to do is we're going to activate this one. So we're going to discard this and play any card from our hand for free. So we're going to play the Death Troopers here. So now we've got 4 strength on this one. We can maneuver if we so wish, but we don't want to. We're going to try and get rid of Bo-Katan because she is at 4 strength at the moment. and we still get to play a card, but we can't choose the action because we've just got cards with condition. So we end our turn, we draw back up to 4. And then our opponent takes their turn. They decide wherever they want to go to perform their actions. Here, they're playing a card, drawing credits. They can play an ambition, and they can vanquish if they so wish, if that's an available action for them. So it comes back to us. We draw our ambition there, and then we decide what we want to do. So we've got a few different things we can do here. So we got these 2 items. So if we go here first, we're going to draw 2 credits. We get to play a card. So let's play this one. So we pay 2. We're going to attach it to the client. We get to vanquish. So let's vanquish Bo-Katan. So she goes to our discard pile. What will happen now is, because we had the 4 strength there, these 2 are discarded. This now stays at this location as per its rules. So far we've gained our 2 credits. We have played this card and we have vanquished. So we have the ambition left over, or we can activate this to remove Beskar to play a card for free. So let's do that. So let's play that, and let's put the laboratory samples here. So this one is going to actually contribute to our end game. So we've got here, pay 5. If Moff Gideon, Grogu and Dr. Pershing are in this location on the villain side of your sector, you win the game. So that's now giving us our end game there. So we need to get Moff Gideon there. We need to find Pershing in here, and we've got to find Grogu in here. And we'll keep going back and forth until one of the players achieves their objective first. So that is everything for this quick playthrough. We'll go head back up top and discuss our final thoughts. We'll see you in a moment. So there we go, a quick playthrough of Star Wars Villainous. I do hope that was of some help to you. For those of you that have played the Marvel or the Disney one before, you'll notice a lot of similarities in the game there. Important to note is that we've gone back to having individual fate decks as we had with Disney, rather than the shared fate decks that we had with Marvel. So if you've played the Disney one, then this is almost a sort of carbon copy of that. A few changes obviously to fit the Star Wars theme, and obviously brand new characters with their own ways of playing, but the setup is almost identical there. So the game itself, well, first of all, I think it's a really deep tactical game. There's not a lot of rules to the game, but there's a lot of options, and it's in those options that the complexity of the game really comes through. Where are you going to move your character to? Which location? Where are you going to play your cards to? You're going to be setting up for the long game in this, and then you'll also be having to react at the same time to the short-term effects of your opponent when they decide to choose a fate action in order to try and deter you. You've got a limit on your hand size if you don't get a ship out into your deep space location, and then you've got to figure out exactly how you're going to navigate the board. There's a lot of things coming together in this. Your hand size, as I said, is limited. You start with 4 cards anyway, so you've got a bit of a resource management here. How best are you going to use those cards? Oftentimes it feels like you maybe want to use them all straight away, so that you get the best value, and oftentimes you can do that, but there are times when you won't be able to, especially later in the game, as heroes from the fate deck start to cover up different actions. Generally it is best to play all of your cards, but you may find that you will need to use a discard action. Those cards at the moment just are not useful to you. They've got to go, you've got to get a fresh hand. But it is important to remember that you will get a chance to get those cards back. If you need to draw from your draw pile and it's empty, you simply shuffle your discard and create a new deck. So the cards aren't lost, they're just not available for some time. So the component quality, overall really impressed with this. The component quality of the game has progressed since the initial release of the Star Wars Villainous. The boards are just that little bit thicker, the cards are just a good quality. I think they've always been a nice quality anyway. And you've got those pieces, the game pieces for each of the 5 characters, and they just look amazing. The Darth Vader one with that nice marbling effect, Moff Gideon with the Dark Trooper cloak, the mask of the Dark Trooper on his cloak, really, really nice there. And then the bowl, the cauldron, as it were, for the different like currencies, the ambition, the credits, and the +1, -1 tokens. So it just feels a little bit sturdier as well. They've divided it into 3, which is good to see. In previous ones, you've just had one sort of main cauldron where all of the cardboard chits go into. So it's just nice to see that as a little improvement. Overall, I think it's a welcome addition to the Villainous series. Sometimes some of these games feel like they're getting a bit washed out, that they're just quick cash grabs, and like they're just doing it to keep hold of a license. This one here is really, really good fun to play. Perhaps one of the best Star Wars licensed games that I've played, and there have been a lot of them. Mostly miniatures games, but obviously there have been a few other card games. And I do have to say, I really do enjoy this. I think this one is a bit more accessible than the others, but without sacrificing any of the gameplay that it provides. So that is Star Wars Villainous. If you'd like to give this a go, it is now available in the library. We've actually put this one in, and Marvel Villainous has come out of the library. I do prefer this one just a bit more for the gameplay and the fact that it doesn't have that shared fate deck. Each one is individual to each player. I just prefer that. So if you want to give it a go, this is now available in the library, and if you'd like to buy it, it's available in store and online. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the boardroom.